What's going on, boys and girls? So this particular video is one that was recommended to me to please react to. Something tells me, given the look on this dude's face, I'm going to regret this video entirely. Why do you guys feel like torturing me? Because I feel like I'm being punished for something I didn't do. Just given by Homeboy's look here, and given the name of the video is Linux Rant, a noob's struggle. Okay, I'm hoping this is just like, hey, this is what's wrong, this is why it doesn't work for me. But I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about this video. Why do you guys hurt my head? Okay, let's get into it. God help me.
I gotta make this video. So I went full-blown Linux for the last 2 weeks. Completely got rid of all of my Windows on my computer. All of it. I have 4 hard drives in my computer. I devoted all of them to Linux because I got tired of Windows bullshit, basically.
Out of fairness, context. What bullshit? Being an overglorified keylogger, shitty update mechanism, no control over your system. Context. It's kind of a thing. You might want to try it.
And in 2 weeks, I went from MX Linux, and trying to game with that was just too much of a hassle on like the second day. So I stopped that. I went to...
I'm just going to ask, what made it a hassle? Again, context.
just vanilla Ubuntu. Got Vulkan going. Got DXVK going. Shout out to Level 1 Techs for that. Was having a pretty good experience. I could play WoW, and that's about where it ended. Because anything else, there's a giant hurdle to leap through. There's a bunch of bullshit. And don't get me wrong, I like Linux. I really do like it. I will switch back to it when they get at least parity with Windows as far as gameplay, because that's really all I care about when it comes.
Gameplay. Now, are you talking quantity of games? Game availability? Are you talking clarification? Context. This is the third time I've mentioned that word. Someone tells me this video is going to lack a lot of it. So, Rant. If you expect quantity or feature parity in any operating system from the operating system you are coming from, beyond basic needs or program availability or so many other things, I'm not expecting iMovie anytime soon on Windows. I am not expecting the same amount of games that are available on Windows on Linux. I'm not expecting the same amount of games that are available on Windows if I go to a Mac. So to me, right now, this sounds like a user expectation problem. And a lack of context does not help your case any. Because right now, I think your head is shoved up your ass and is poking back out of your mouth because a lot of shit is coming out of it with nothing attached to it. Like, you're pulling some alien chest burster shit here. Like, holy fuck. Can you at least give some context to your complaints? Other than, it's shit, it doesn't work, it does a gameplay parody. gameplay, video, quantity, actual gameplay. You're not stating anything. I swear, you guys want me to have an ulcer.
Comes to my computer is gameplay. I can fucking watch YouTube on my phone. I can fucking use Discord on my phone. I don't need anything other than basic video editing and games and internet browsing. That's all I fucking need. So I thought I could make the switch to fucking Linux. Fuck you. No. Wrong. It was abysmal. You know, Ubuntu is supposed to be this fucking easy operating system for beginners to jump into Linux on. Yeah, if you got one hard drive, don't plan on doing a whole lot that you don't do with your fucking phone, because anything else, if you get adventurous in the littlest bit, get fucking ready to read.
Or you have the wrong set of expectations, and with those wrong set of expectations, you basically just told yourself to go get fucked. It's funny how that works. My question is, you talked about multiple hard drives. What file system are you using? 4 hard drives. There's plenty of guys that I know that run Linux RAID setups and everything else. They don't have a problem with it. Are you using ext4? Are you using XFS? Are you actually doing this weird thing? And I don't know, formatting the drives? Are you doing this other weird thing where, I don't know, are you installing if you're doing exFAT, are you actually installing the exFAT utilities? Because here's the thing, the exFAT utilities, if that's what you're complaining about, are not installed by default because it's a licensing thing. Hence why it's left to the user to do. As far as Ubuntu being easy to use, that's relative to the user. If this had been me giving you any recommendations, first off, I would not recommend MX, because MX has its own set of way of doing things. It's Debian. There's a lot of other stuff that goes with it. If you use 4K, not so much. XY, there's a lot of niggles to MX. I like MX, don't get me wrong. Most of my stuff is not 4K, so I don't care when I use MX. As far as Ubuntu, it's Ubuntu. Your expectations are what's the problem. Your lack of context is the problem. In case people don't understand what I'm saying, is the user here is the problem.
It's such a fucking con job. Like,
Dear God, if you're gonna call it a con job, couldn't you at least make it a decent Linux pun and say it's such a fucking cron job? I mean, come on. Can we at least have some type of entertainment? Oh God, I'm not being entertained right now. I think I'd rather cut my own heart out with a spoon right now. A dull one, really, really dull.
I get Wendell and all of them at level 1 talk about the gatekeepers of Arch. Man, if you can fucking install Arch, I'm putting it out there. You're a better nerd than me.
It's not about being a gatekeeper of Arch. I've installed Arch on a couple of different occasions, and if you're a new user, whoever made a recommendation for you to try Arch, I would question their technical advice ever again. Vanilla Arch is not for new users. Flat out, end of story. Unless you want to read or you understand what you're getting into. End of story. Now, if if people are going to recommend Arch, I would say Manjaro, though it is not technically Arch. It's Arch base, but it's not technically Arch. I would still not recommend it for new users. I recommend stable, static release distros for new users. I would have recommended Deepin. I would have recommended Elementary. I would Pop OS. Any of those would have been better choices than the ones you've talked about thus far. Again, however, because of your lack of context, the problem becomes essentially making you look like a fucking dumbass is the lack of context. So you look like a fucking dumbass. Nobody can help you if you don't give the right context to a problem, a question, or a statement. So this is a user expectation problem. You want feature parity in gameplay? Like gameplay. Okay, are we talking frames per second or are we talking quantity of fucking games? If you... I'm trying not to rant really, really hard right now.
Do you feel better about yourself? Because I'm telling you what, I can start my computer with Windows and I know what the fuck's going on.
Why do you guys do this to me? Why? I know. Linux is different. Wow. Novel concept. Is Mac OS different than Windows? Yeah. Well, guess what? It's a different OS. This is a user. I don't know how many times I can repeat this. This is a fucking user expectation problem. This is someone who is not honestly willing to be open to the... You have to be open-minded and willing. Well, I uninstalled Windows and I wiped all my drives from Windows. And I spent 2 weeks and I distro hopped. And it sounds like you got really bad fucking technical advice. And I would really recommend looking elsewhere for people to get technical advice from. And if you went to DistroWatch and anybody ever made that recommendation to you to pick the top distros there, they need to get run over by a fucking train. Because DistroWatch is the worst metric in Linux ever. It's an over-glorified popularity contest. Fact statement. Because DistroWatch ranks by basically taking how many clicks the distro in DistroWatch gets to the homepage. There you go. MX is number one. Cool. I like MX. I like Dolphin Oracle. I like the guys over at MX. But realistically, even devs know not to go by DistroWatch. The only thing DistroWatch is good for is to tell you the new releases. Everything else that it does is 100% trash and garbage.
I can install things and they're gonna fucking start up.
Okay. You can install shit on Linux. Did you go to the store and install stuff? If you had installed Pop OS, Lutris would have been installed prior. So all you had to do was type in Lutris and oh hey, it's installed. Steam, same deal. All this stuff, all your complaints is because you are an idiot and chose the wrong fucking distribution and have the lack of context to give to a person on your expectations. So that a technical person cannot give you a good starting point to go to. User expectation is the problem. In case anyone, again, does not understand this, jackass is the problem.
The icon's not going to turn on and then just go right away. Because I don't have some fucking library or some fucking ubiquitous bullshit that I can't find the fucking answer to on the goddamn internet. The biggest database in the world is at my fingertips. I can't have a simple question answered. I gotta read through pages and fucking years of forums to find this shit out. Because
context. I was missing a library. Hey. Program, library, dependency. Problem solved. Search narrowed. Your Google foo fucking sucks.
God forbid they keep the fucking distribution stable for more than fucking 6 months or whatever it is. I look up a problem, it's like, oh, this problem happened in 1610 or whatever. Well, bitch, I'm on 1804.
That means if a fix was applied in prior LTS distributions, i.e. 1604, and it's still not fixed, it probably still gonna work in 1804. LTS to LTS is kind of a thing.
And the problem ain't fixed, because otherwise, I wouldn't be on here looking for it. Again, I do appreciate Linux, and I don't want to be part of the botnet and all that shit. But until these motherfuckers make this shit way more fucking user-friendly, I'm out. And for that reason, I'm out.
Why do you guys hurt my head? Why? Okay, short version. User expectation is the problem. Lack of context is the problem. The user is the problem. User-friendly is relative. Open mind does not have. Bad technical advice. Does not give clarification on what he's looking for. Does not give clarification on anything. So, homie, I'm going to break it down for you. Your lack of clarification on expectations, your lack of clarification on context, and the problems you're actually having mean you, jackass, are the problem. This is getting the technical support call even on Windows. Or did he click? Back in the day, did he click on the big green? Did he click on the big blue E or the big green N? And the user not even knowing what the fuck that is. 3 dead trolls in a baggie. Internet help desk. Give it a listen. That's you. Context is the problem. User expectation is the problem. And if some jackass tells you to go to DistroWatch and use whatever's popular, they're the problem. Along with you. 2 of the things are you. 1 of the things is probably someone else. So if you want help from the community, that's fine. You want help? Fix your expectations. Fix what give context to your problems. And get some sound technical advice on recommendations. Don't just go to DistroWatch. Go jump on a Linux community. Go jump on an IRC. Go jump on a Discord. Go jump on a Telegram group. Take your pick. It's a wide open range. You will get lots of advice. You want distro recommendations to try? Pop OS. Elementary OS. Deepin. And for those that want to whine and complain that I'm making all Debian-based or Ubuntu-based distros as a recommendation, yeah, I am. Deal with it. Hell, even Zorin OS. Out of all of them, I'm going to tell you, go Pop OS. But 99% of all this bitch fit that you just threw is a you problem. Context, clarity in your communication, context and clarity in your expectations can give people the context and clarity in their recommendations. Food for thought, homie. Fix your own shit and fix your expectations. Other than that, thank you for the also, guys. I appreciate it. You guys know what to do. What are your thoughts and takes on it? Rate it, comment, Patreon, any gala, all that crap's down below. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.